What's up, everybody? It's James Walmer, and this is Vincent DeSantis.
What's up, guys?
Today, this is Strictly Casual, and today we got a little something special for you.
That's right. It's a special day,
Something
James.
a little different.
It's a special day.
You know what, Vin? Variety is the spice of life.
Amen. Amen. We got to keep it fresh up in here.
And so on that note, today, what do we have in? Just tell him.
Today is May 4th. So us Star Wars, what would you consider us, James? Give me a special word for this.
We are Star Wars.
Okay, we'll go with fans. Okay. May 4th.
Yeah,
May
I don't
the
know. I
4th
couldn't
be
think of
with
something
you,
fun.
baby. So at the beginning of Strictly Casual, James and I said we were doing gaming and movies, right, on the channel.
It's true.
And
That is what we
hey,
said.
we really have stepped it up to the gaming side, but the movie side has been a little light right now, you know?
It's been lacking.
But hey, that's okay. That's kind of what we expected. We bit off a little more than we could chew. But guess what? We're here today on May the 4th ranking the live-action Star Wars movies. Is that right?
That's right.
That's right.
That's right, baby. All 11 of them.
All 11 live-action Star Wars movies. Now, I have a list and James has a list separately. So how this will be going down is we're going to go back and forth starting from our least favorite Star Wars movie to our favorite Star Wars movie, or the worst to the best, however you want to put it, whatever it is. We're going to go back and forth, talk about why they're in that specific place, what makes it better than the previous movie or worse than the next movie kind of dealio. And then right underneath each of our screens, we'll have each poster indicating where we are at and what our rankings
We
are.
should also put, like, the ranking number.
Yeah, it'll be the
So,
poster
like,
and then the number.
number
right under
5 in the middle, and then your movie and my movie.
Yep, exactly.
Cool.
Perfect. And this is kind of, me and James have been talking about doing this, but I texted him today and I said, James, I'm feeling creatively inspired and I need to make a video, and I don't know what it is. And James like, let's do the Star Wars video today. And I was like, are you choking my ass? I am so down. So like 35 minutes later, here we are. We're making it happen.
Vin, last week there was this moment, and it was the weirdest thing. It was either after I just got done with a D&D session, or it was the same day of recording, because I remember I had my mic still on my desk right here, and it was like 11 o'clock at night. Like, I had signed off to the boys,
Right.
saying I'm going to bed. And then in that moment, I looked at my mic, and you know how on my mic the little mute button is red?
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at the little light coming off the mute button. I said, I gotta record.
That's right.
I don't know what it is, but I gotta record something.
You got the itch. I had the itch today so bad.
I got the itch. I got the huge itch, and I never got to scratch it. But today is the day, Vin,
Today's
that I
the
get to
day.
scratch that itch.
May 4th, we're making dreams come true here.
Yes, we are.
Okay. So how do we want to do this? Do you want to start or should I start? I don't care. Either way.
Okay. I'll volunteer to start.
Actually, here's what we should do. We should alternate who goes first for each movie.
I like it.
So if you start, you'll do number 11, and then I'll do number 11, and then I'll do number 10, and you do number 10. That way we like bounce back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going, all right, pop off. Number 11.
Number 11, baby.
And
bottom of the list.
keep in mind, we're not doing any of the animated movies or shows or video games. It's strictly the live action movies, which is the Skywalker saga plus Solo, Rogue One.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Hit me.
All right, starting off at number 11, the bottom of the barrel, the scum of the earth, the worst Star Wars movie ever made.
Right.
Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now, Vin,
Interesting.
we all saw this coming.
We did. Yep.
No. Number 11.
No, sorry. Yeah. Number 11. Yes.
No. We all saw this coming.
Uh-huh.
You know how much I ripped on this movie when we watched it
Right.
in the apartment. So much so that we refused to watch the whole thing.
Dude.
We were set on watching the whole thing. We're watching Star Wars Episode 1 today.
We're like, we're gonna do the prequels this week. We're gonna go through the prequels, baby.
Until, what moment was it? I think it was
It was
the
right after
moment-
pod racing.
right after pod racing.
No, scratch
So
that,
we
James.
had
we skipped until pod racing, and then watch pod racing, and then skip to Darth Maul at the end.
That must have been right after the water scene.
Right.
We stopped and then we skipped to pod racing.
Yeah. So it comes to no surprise to either of us that number 1 is also my number 11. Episode 1 is my number 11, The Phantom Menace. That could get confusing very fast. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I remember watching this movie all the time as a kid. I might have watched episode 1 more than any other Star Wars movie.
I think I have to agree with you, Ben.
And as a kid, freaking loved it. Ate that crap up, right? And okay, let me get this out there before we start trashing on these movies. Any Star Wars is good Star Wars, okay? I'm happy with Star Wars in any case. I love Star Wars. Now, there are definitely not so good Star Wars movies, okay? I'm grateful for all the Star Wars we've gotten in the last couple years, even though it's been a little hit or miss. Where do you fall on that? Do you think they're just bad? Do you think there's just bad Star Wars straight up?
I'm going to disagree with you. I think
Okay.
there's bad Star Wars straight up.
Fair enough. I enjoy every Star Wars. I don't like every Star Wars.
I don't think I can say the same.
Okay.
I can say there are movies that I don't enjoy.
Yeah. That's fair.
Phantom Menace is one of the ones that I do not enjoy.
See,
I enjoy moments,
I would say
but
I
I
still
don't enjoy the whole
it.
movie.
Like I still enjoy it, even though it's my least favorite Star Wars movie.
I think in order to say that I enjoy it, I have to watch it all the way through, or like I
Okay.
have to be able
That's
to
fair.
watch it all the way through.
Yeah. Okay, but some major highlights in episode 1: Darth Maul fight, pod racing, and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon zooming off the screen in the opening scene.
That was phenomenal. I forgot about that
Yeah.
scene.
I
I forgot that happened.
Me too. Didn't even cross my
Then
mind.
you're looking real pixelated right now.
I'm looking
I don't know
pixelated?
If that, check OBS. Check OBS.
OBS is looking
See if it's
A-okay.
just me.
I'm looking fine.
Okay, we're good.
You're
We're
looking
Never
good too.
mind. Oh, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, that was number 11. I don't have much to say about the Phantom Menace besides it's dead last for me.
All right.
Okay, number 10.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Here's where I think we're gonna start being a little different here. Number 10,
Okay.
I have Solo, A Star Wars Story. Now, Solo came out and I did not see it in theaters. I had zero. The reviews and stuff made me not want to watch this at all. I waited probably a good year to watch this until it was on Netflix, and I really thought it was gonna be trash. I went into it thinking it was gonna be god awful, but I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed it. I don't know if I forget his name, the guy that played Han Solo in this movie. I don't think he was a great Han Solo by any means. The story was just okay, but it was fun. Like, I had a good time, but it was not a good movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else to say about it. Woody Harrelson, he's always fun.
Right. Who's the guy that I always get Woody Harrelson confused with?
God.
He played in Walking Dead.
Oh, oh my gosh. What's his name? Michael Rooker. There he is.
Michael Rooker, yeah.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, every time.
My number 10. Unless, did you have something else to say?
I don't really have, I'm not trying to, I don't know. Okay, go for it. We'll see
Okay.
where this goes.
Okay. My number 10, as of right now, is The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. Okay. That's a fresh wound. That's a fresh wound in a bag of worms.
It's a fresh wound that just has... It's being eaten by mealworms right now.
Okay.
That it's not a pretty death.
Right.
It's not a nice burial service. It is the open body left out on the field that it was culturally unacceptable to leave out in
Wow.
the yard, and so as
Sure.
a result, it was left to the mealworms to decompose.
That was a graphic,
And so,
graphic metaphor.
thank you.
Uh-huh.
I just got it's biblical.
Sure.
It just leaves so many characters underdeveloped.
Mm-hmm.
And just doesn't bring enough closure to really anything
Okay.
for me. It doesn't further develop characters that
You've already seen.
were very promising in the
Right.
beginning. I think
with the
it does my
exception
man.
of Ben Solo, in my opinion.
With the exception of Ben Solo, I will agree with you on
Yeah.
that. Right, but even then, I think his redemption arc is kind of for naught
Okay.
at the very end. I think the decision for Kylo to die,
Mm-hmm.
it is very. I understand that it's very Skywalker-like,
Right.
and that Anakin / Darth Vader also had his redemption arc finished, and then he died.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and so that's very true to suit.
Yeah.
I think he should have. I think he should have lived.
I don't know if it's whether or not he should have died that really gets me. It's just other decisions that were made, such as the entire plot to this movie. Blows
The
my
entire
mind.
plot is also a huge
Why the
issue.
hell they brought Palpatine back? I don't understand.
Doesn't make any sense.
There was plenty of stakes. Why did they introduce new characters when they should have finished developing these old ones that we love? I did.
Right. I did too.
Yeah, this movie's
You
got
joke
some
at my ass.
flaws.
Finn, Poe Dameron,
Yeah, yeah. The boys. Just dudes being
the
guys.
boys. Yeah,
I don't know. I
did him dirty.
don't hate this movie, but it's sure not one of the greats. It sure is not one of the greats.
I think the more I talk about it, the more I dislike it.
Right, so let me ask you this. You're at the
Okay.
theater, you're watching The Rise of Skywalker. In the
Sure.
moment, / right when the credits roll, initial thoughts right coming out.
I was like, that was great. That was a great time.
Right. Right.
Sure. Which is justifiable in that it was enjoyable.
Sure.
But when brought into the whole of Star Wars
Mhm.
canon, that's when there starts to become
Right.
issues
I agree.
that I can deal with.
Rise of Skywalker, I would say, is a major disappointment for the end of the trilogy. Major.
Yeah, and I heard people wanted to continue the trilogy past
No.
Rise of Skywalker, or like continue the saga.
If anything,
No.
they're gonna have Rey in some animated thing later on. Watch.
Sure.
Disney Plus,
Yeah.
you know, they got content coming out their rear ends. No, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was your number 10.
Is that enough? Yeah. Is that
Well,
enough?
okay, so here's the thing. I think as we go on
Okay.
and we start ranking them, like, and you hear like my ranking for Rise of Skywalker, or I hear yours for Solo, we're gonna get
Sure.
a little more discussion about placement.
Sure.
But I don't want to ruin
Well,
my
here's
placement, right?
Here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Is not to spoil number 9, but
Sure.
Solo and Skywalker are like right there.
Okay. That's
So-
fair. Well, you're up for number 9.
I mean,
so if you just
My
go
number
for it.
9 is Solo,
Number 9 is Solo.
and I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I think it's more respectable to canon than Rise of Skywalker.
Is it? Darth Maul was shoehorned in there? I mean,
Sure,
Lando
I'll give it that.
is kind of like,
But
all right.
I like Donald Glover. as
Me too.
Lando.
I love Donald.
I liked his
Glover.
weird robot fetish.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Uh-huh.
I enjoyed it.
It had some smirking moments, like when they gamble the ship and everything. It's like, haha, that's pretty
Sure.
cool. You know, the dice that are hanging from the
Sure.
Millennium Falcon. Like, oh, cool.
Sure.
I like that.
Sure.
But to be
But
honest, I watched
I
it
don't-
like a year ago, maybe. I don't remember much.
Yeah.
It's not a very memorable movie.
I don't either. No.
Yeah. Daenerys from
I just-
Game of Thrones is in there. You know, and she, like,
Is she?
yeah, she's the main like
Who's she?
heroine character. I don't.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. She's fine in it.
She's fine.
I don't have a lot to say
She's
about
okay.
Solo, bro. I wish I did.
I don't either. It's just Solo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We got to see the Kessel Run, but that was kind of underwhelming.
Right. Oh, you're right. It was underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was okay.
It wasn't what I wanted it to be.
Right.
I don't think it was what anyone wanted it to be. And because of Solo, a lot of the other Solo Star Wars movie project, like for Solo characters, got axed because of Solo. So that's also why Solo has a bad taste in my mouth.
Solo went through everyone else. Solo went through a crap directing thing. So they had Chris and Phil Lord, who did like Lego Movie, 21 Jump Street, and like all these kind of like funny movies. And they shot a bunch of it, and Lucasfilm was like, this movie's too funny. This movie's not like obviously Star Wars has always had humor, but it's like, oh, it's too funny. It's like a comedy. We don't want this to be a comedy. It just has funny moments. So they brought in Ron Howard to direct it afterwards. And Ron Howard, he has a huge list of great movies that he's done and stuff. So they thought it was going to be like a surefire, like, okay, we bring him in, he fixes the movie, we put it out, great success. But I think the change of directing, they changed the style too much, and then the movie didn't know what it wanted to be anyways. You know, they have Han Solo in this, try to crack jokes at every second, and only like a quarter of them land. And then you brush the other stuff off like, oh, it's just Han Solo. I don't know.
Are you sure Ron Howard has a slew of good movies?
Yeah. Acting, directing, all that kind of stuff.
He did Cowboys and Aliens, Vin.
Okay, so he's had some hits and he's had some not so hits.
He did the Da Vinci Code.
Okay, definitely some not so hits, but there's got to be some good ones in there. That name's like a staple.
He did do A Beautiful Mind, which I never saw, but
me neither. But I heard that was great.
I heard it's good. He did Angels and Demons with Tom Hanks.
You're kidding. Okay, all right. I retract
never
my
forget
statement.
the 2001 classic Osmosis Jones.
I've never seen Osmosis
Do you remember that, the
Jones.
Cartoon?
No, I've never seen it.
Oh, dang. He did Dark Tower with Idris Elba.
Okay, another misfire. A major misfire. Let's just say he's not with the times.
I'm kind of glad we didn't get Ron Howard.
No, we did get Ron Howard.
Oh.
That's who finished off Solo.
This is awful. You're right. Solo's right on this list.
Yeah, Chris and Phil Lord, bro, they did Spider-Verse and stuff. They jumped off Solo and went right to Spider-Verse afterwards. Are you joking me? It's just hits on hits off for them. Oh well, forget about it.
Alright, hit me with number 8.
No, number 9. I haven't said my number 9 yet.
Oh, you're right. You haven't said your number 9 yet. Go for it.
My number 9... Okay. Okay. It's episode 2, Attack the Clones.
What the hell?
Oh my gosh. He's mad, bro. He's mad. Okay, alright. Okay, let me explain to you why episode 2 is so low on my list.
Okay.
Originally, I had this as number 11. Okay? I had it as the worst Star Wars movie ever. Okay?
Hurt me, Vin.
And that was an opinion and idea that was formed through other people's opinions and ideas. It wasn't until I watched it again.
Ridiculous.
It wasn't until I...
With me, right?
Yeah, I watched it again recently with you that it jumped up. Because I think episode 2 has some of the greatest lore in all of the Star Wars movies ever.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe...
Hell yeah, it does.
Maybe the best lore of any Star Wars. But that is to say that the acting is awful. It's really bad.
It's so bad.
I love it, but it's so bad. The storyline, if you really think about it, there's no depth to the storyline whatsoever. It's just Anakin and Padme doing their thing, and then there's Obi-Wan just riding the council and learning about the clones. That is all this movie is. It's a ship to Revenge of the Sith. It's just a carrying ship to Revenge of the Sith.
But here's where I'm going to advocate.
Okay.
That while it is a ship carrying to Revenge of the Sith, I think it does that well.
Totally agree. I agree.
And that you see the dynamics between Obi-Wan and Anakin, and Anakin's relationship with Padme bear a lot of weight for the consequences that are coming with Star Wars Episode 3.
Totally agree.
When Anakin does start to go to the dark side.
Right.
You look back on Episode 2 and you're like, oh, that's why, and you start to see more of like
exactly
why he has strong attachments to that.
That helped prove my point. I think Episode 2 is a vehicle for Episode 3 to thrive.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I don't like Episode 2, because we watched this one all the way through and I was interested the whole time, even though I've seen this so many times. I don't know, the arena fight, good stuff. The Dooku fight, good stuff. The lines about sand, great stuff. Something I can just really emotionally attach with.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also don't like sand.
Yeah. I mean, God help us.
Can we publicly say on the podcast, fuck sand?
Sure, fuck sand. Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. Okay. That's all I got to say about episode 2. I'm sure when I hear your placement of episode 2, we'll have more to discuss about it.
Mm-hmm. Was that number 8?
That was number 9 for me.
Hurts even more.
Okay. I'm going to go for number 8. Here we go.
All right.
Number 8, I have The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay. That's justified.
I don't hate it. I hate a lot about it. But I like Rey having the yellow lightsabers at the end. I think that was a good wrap up for her, maybe. The other characters got absolutely shitted on this movie. I think Ben Solo was a huge plus. He was consistently great throughout the whole sequel trilogy. What else happened in this movie? Exactly. One of my favorite lines is the callback to Force Awakens, with the "I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it." And they have completely different meanings in both movies, but it's just perfect for the character. I thought that was awesome. That was good writing, in my opinion, because this movie was not well written, but with the exception of that, I really liked that.
Never forget the knife. I should have mentioned that in my number 10.
Yeah. Exactly. Don't remember the knife. Nobody remembers the knife. What is the dagger doing?
No, you remember how bad the dagger is. Because the whole point of the dagger was that if you looked at the ruins of the Death Star on this planet, that it would perfectly line up with the like jagged edge of the knife or whatever it was, and that was like the location to, I don't even know what it was the location of.
Couldn't tell you.
But that was like the location where she was supposed to go. And so they, within 10 minutes of getting on this planet, they go,
yep.
Oh, there it is. Not to mention that, like, this is an ocean planet where, like, shit moves.
Right.
I just don't get it.
I don't know why.
It was lazy.
Let me tell you one thing that I hate about this movie so much. The boat. Okay. When she's looking at the dagger or whatever, and she makes a boat or something and takes the boat to the Death Star with all the waves and stuff, I was like,
oh yeah, what the hell was that?
Stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life. It was so dumb.
So why is this above Attack of the Clones for you?
Okay, I don't know if I have a good answer for that, but my gut feeling is that I enjoyed the highs of Rise of Skywalker are higher than the highs of Attack of the Clones. Not by much, but a little bit. Although the lows of Rise of Skywalker are way lower than the lows of Attack of the Clones.
And I would argue that while the highs are higher than Solo is such like a vanilla, bland movie.
I agree, yeah.
That I would argue that the inconsistency of Rise of Skywalker would put it below Solo.
Wow. Because of its lows?
Because of its lows.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from there. But I think its highs make it much better than Solo, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
I don't know. Okay, what's your 8?
This is controversial.
Oh God, I already know what it's gonna be, and I hate you for it. Okay. Yep.
Star Wars Episode 4.
Oh, what? You put 4? I was expecting The Last Jedi to be that low.
No.
You put A New Hope at number 8. Okay.
My most watched Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Most watched Star Wars movie. My least finished Star Wars movie.
Okay, so you always start New Hope and never end it?
I never end it.
Okay.
Because I get bored, Vin.
Okay. Alright. That's fair.
I would argue that the iconic scenes in this movie, while
Yes.
they are iconic, you have the trash compactor,
Mhm.
you have Obi-Wan telling Luke about the Clone Wars,
The Clone
and you
Wars.
have the Obi-Wan Vader fight.
Right.
What is the end scene of that movie?
They blow up the Death Star, bro.
You're right. They blow up the Death Star.
Red 5 going in.
Right. Red 5 standing by. Blue Leader standing by.
Uh-huh.
That sort of thing.
Come on.
Okay,
Are you
well,
kidding me?
this-
That scene is so freaking epic.
It's iconic.
Yeah.
But I just think everything else just drags it down. Besides
Okay.
those iconic moments. Everything in between is not good.
Okay. That's okay.
I think it lacks life.
You think it lacks life?
I do.
Wow. Okay.
I just think it's kind of bland.
Uh-huh. I'll have some arguing points
I think
for this soon.
the redeeming scene is the last scene where they blow up the Death Star, but I had forgotten about that entirely.
James, you're letting me down here. I can't
I
believe
just
A
don't
New
think
Hope
it's
is
that
that
good.
low for you. Okay.
Also, but you do get the scene where he goes, where Luke and Obi-Wan go into, you know what I'm going to talk about, where you go into the bar, and the guy, see if he goes, I don't like you.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Wait, no, he goes, it's the other alien at the bar, and he
Right.
goes, my friend here doesn't like you. I don't like you either.
And then Obi-Wan takes
Luke's
none of
out,
that
he
crap.
goes,
Yep. Arms
chops
gone.
the arm off.
And then
Arms
if
gone.
you watch these like new like HD remasters of these movies, there's like worms in the arm, and I think it's the grossest thing ever. Every time it's so nasty to me. Oh my. Okay, I guess my counterpoint to this is that none of these movies would be iconic if it wasn't for this one. There is no Star Wars without this movie.
That's true, but as it,
Right?
yes,
because you're
but I
ranking
don't
your
think that's a
favorite
good
movies.
enough reason. Yes.
Okay. I disagree, but I respect your opinion. Fully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
What's your number 8?
We already did it. Mine 8 was Rise of
Oh,
Skywalker.
okay,
Okay, so
sorry.
you're up for
I
7.
keep losing track.
You're good.
All right, Vin.
Yep.
Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Okay. Star Wars: The Last Jedi is your number 7.
Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Uh-huh.
Star Wars: The Last Jedi is my number 7 because
Wait, hold on. You put You put The Last Jedi above A New Hope.
mhm,
Okay.
I did.
Mhm. Holy shit. You're about to
And-
put episode 2 above this one too. Okay. Yep.
We'll see.
Okay. Uh-huh. Yep.
We'll see because there are some key issues that I have with this movie
Mhm.
that are the reason why it's not higher.
Okay.
And while I could talk about the pointless casino scene, where
Yep.
the end of that sequence with the kid never amounts to anything. I don't know whether that's Last Jedi's fault or whether that's Rise of Skywalker's fault.
Mhm.
But the end with the kids, and like aspiring Jedis at the very end,
Right.
like there's, it's a very big like, oh, like this is leading to something with no fruition whatsoever.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think the decision to make Rey and Kylo's like diode and the Force or whatever, it's so messy between episode 10 or episode 9 and episode 8,
Okay.
because in episode 8 you have Rey and Kylo, they have this special connection that
Right.
they're able to like talk to each other through the
Mhm.
Force. But then Snoke is like, no, that was just me the whole time, lol.
Yeah.
And so it's like, what the hell? And then in episode 9, they backtrack, and Palpatine's like, you have a diode in the Force. Like,
Uh-huh.
you know, and so it's this like huge power thing. So I like what it tries to do,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the execution just isn't there
Okay. That's fair. I have a
for
lot.
a lot of the points. I think that with Leia,
Uh-huh.
I don't like that they brought back Leia.
Okay.
I actually like Leia better in Star Wars Episode 9 than Episode 8.
Okay. Yeah.
Other Admiral lady I hate.
Yeah, whatever her name is. Yep, I know who you're talking about.
Purple hair.
Yep.
But I also think that was good character development for Poe.
I agree. Yeah.
In the beginning of this movie, they drop bombs on a Star Destroyer
Yes.
in space.
Yes.
And we don't see, like, rocket propulsion or anything from any of these, like, bombs.
You're right. It's just gravity, and there is no gravity in space.
It's just gravity.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
James, we're also talking about a universe where people force things out of their way with their hands.
Okay, shut the fuck up, man. That's the Force. There's no force propelling these grenades. These are dropping out of normal-ass spaceships
Sure.
into normal-ass space.
I'm gonna get you George Lucas's email, and you're gonna have to hit him up on this one. I don't have a dog in this race, okay? You're gonna have to ask him what the hell is going on. Okay, but James, I have some major points against this claim that I will bring up at a later time.
Okay, but
Yes.
I like this movie because if they were to leave this movie as it is, even though it is far from perfect,
Mhm.
and if people just allowed Ryan Johnson to do his creative thing, even though if it wasn't always beneficial, then we would have gotten Colin Trevorrow's Episode 9,
Amen.
which is the real travesty
Of the
of
sequel
the
trilogy.
Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Of the sequel trilogy.
I totally agree.
And thus, The Last Jedi is my 7th best Star Wars movie.
7? Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very well
Thank
said. I disagree, but very well said.
Okay.
My number 7 is Revenge of the Sith.
What? All the way down on number 7?
This is my most quoted Star Wars movie. This is my most excited Star Wars movie, I would say. Like, when I think about it, Star Wars, I'm always thinking about the end of Episode 3.
Right.
But that's not to say that a lot of this movie is not interesting to me. Up to the point where Order 66 is about to get executed, the war on the Wookiee planet, I don't know. I don't love it. Yoda's off doing some stuff, trying to figure out about the clones and all this kind of stuff. And yes,
Yeah.
I get it. It's fine. But this movie, the last 30 minutes is awesome. It's top
Yeah, it
tier,
is.
S tier Star Wars. But that's the last
Oh,
30
yeah, it
minutes.
is.
This movie is long as hell. This movie is about 2 hours and 20 minutes ish, and an hour and 50 of those minutes is just okay. It is just okay. The only part that really keeps you going is the romance between Anakin and Padme, and then Anakin's kind of evil side. And of course, Obi-Wan being sexy him the entire movie, which I love so much.
Yeah, he is.
And
It's great.
I really hate putting this movie so
Salt
low.
and cinnamon.
I really hate putting this movie so low because the ending is so good. It's the perfect end to the prequel trilogy. But I can't justify it when the movie itself is not good. That's my...
I'm trying to recall what happens in the first half of the movie.
Exactly.
Before Order 66.
They go
To be honest.
They go to General Grievous's ship. They crash it into the island, or into the freaking planet
Into
below.
Coruscant.
Into Coruscant, yeah, sorry. And they...
That's pretty badass.
Right. Sweet, great opening scene. That's all of 15 minutes, though. And they decapitate Dooku.
Which is also, very important.
Now, I will say this. We're finishing the Clone Wars right now. And the Clone Wars are starting to cross paths with some Episode 3 stuff. I'm not all the way caught up yet.
Sure.
Um,
Sure.
But Enzo and I are 100% watching Episode 3 after Clone Wars is over. And now, I haven't seen Episode 3 in a couple years.
Okay.
So my opinion on this might change.
I'm gonna stop you right there,
Yeah.
because there is a way to watch Clone Wars, because this isn't all before episode 3.
Right.
There are moments that intertwine.
Uh-huh.
So, as one of my good friends is doing, he is watching episode 3 with Clone Wars,
Which
and
is
then
super
he will
cool.
stop at certain points,
Yeah.
go watch the Clone Wars, and come back to watching the movie.
I love that. It's a great idea. But like for me, I'm so behind on the Clone Wars, I'm just trying to catch up, and then I'll watch episode 3. I'll read about like what episodes take place in between and stuff. You know?
Sure.
I don't know. I love episode 3. It's dear to my heart. Nothing will ever beat the monologues between Obi-Wan and Anakin at the end, the heart-wrenching
So good.
destruction of Anakin Skywalker into the transformation of Darth Vader. Nothing will beat it.
It gets me.
Palpatine doing his spinny twist thing, you know, I'll never forget it. But the movie itself is mid-tier. With S-tier moments, the movie's mid-tier.
Mm. You know, Vin.
Yeah.
I might have to agree with you.
It deserves another rewatch. This is all coming from. I don't know.
When was the last time you watched it?
It's been a couple years.
Okay, I watched it like last year.
Okay. Yeah, that's it.
I like it.
I love it.
Okay.
But it's mid-tier.
Okay.
Okay. That brings me to number 6, right?
Right.
Okay.
And it is your movie to start off?
Yeah.
Correct?
So my number 6 is Rogue One.
Okay.
I think the cinematography in Rogue One is the best of any Star Wars movie, hands down. No question.
Yeah.
It's beautifully shot.
Who directed it?
Gareth Edwards directed Rogue One.
It doesn't have a lot of notable movies.
I don't know.
Besides Godzilla.
Oh, yeah. This is written by the one and only Gary Whitta, which we talked about in episode 13 of the podcast, which isn't actually recorded yet, but it'll be out before this episode. I like it. It's good. It ties things together. It's exactly what it needs to be. They had Solo, which was a Star Wars story, which was a little pish posh to me. Wait, was Solo after or before Rogue One? I don't know.
After.
Okay. Anyways, Rogue One was
Really
a good
certain.
Star Wars story. It ties things together of the main Skywalker saga. You have that.
Scratch that. Rogue One is first.
Okay, that's what I
Then
thought.
Solo.
The idea of the Star Wars story was well executed with Rogue One. The droid's good. The cast is good. The characters are interesting. The stakes are high, obviously. Even though, here's the thing. This movie does it so well that you know the outcome of this movie. You know they're going to get the Death Star plans. That leads into A New Hope. But you're still rooting for these characters the whole time, and you're still scared for them of whatever's going to happen. Obviously, spoilers that everybody dies in the end. But it's fitting. It's like... It had to happen, and they saved the day, and it was like sacrificial for them to do this for the greater good or whatever. And I think Rogue One's a hit.
And Ip Man is in it.
Ip Man is in it. I didn't know that until after we watched Ip Man.
Yeah.
We should do Ip Man in review with Brandon.
I'm very down. 100%. Oh my gosh. I don't know why we didn't think of that sooner.
Me neither. Yeah, Rogue One is good. It's not great, but it's very good.
I think it's pretty good.
And I think Darth Vader, you see him in his chamber, and that scene where
You're
he
right.
just slices through the
Great
rebels,
scene.
bro. The beach at the end is stunning. The effects are beautiful. It was awesome. I loved it.
It was great.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 6.
Yep.
Star Wars Attack of the Clones. You knew it was coming, Vin.
Yeah.
And here it finally is.
Yeah.
I love this damn movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have it higher than it should be, specifically because of how much better watching the Clone Wars makes this movie.
Right. I totally agree.
Right. As it stands on its own, without the supplemental information of Attack of the Clones, it does not stand very tall. However,
Mm-hmm.
because I had rewatched this movie after watching Attack of the Clones, you know exactly what they're talking about. If
Yep.
you were to watch this movie and had no idea what was going on in the Star Wars lore, you have no idea what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
However, sorry, someone's calling me.
All good.
However, some spam call. However, because we had just watched the Clone Wars, we knew exactly what they were talking about. They mentioned Darth Tyrannus.
Yep.
They mentioned...
Who's the Jedi that orders
like,
the clones? I forget his name every time.
Who orders it?
Or
Which one?
The Jedi that... Yeah, the Jedi that...
Shakti?
Yeah, Shakti. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's right. Yeah.
Shakti's the Torguda with the... She's red.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the Jedi. They talk about him in season 6 of the Clone Wars.
Oh.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
About,
I know this.
Um,
Anyways, regardless, they barely mention him in Attack of the Clones, and you kind of get an understanding about what's going on. There's a conversation on Kimono. That's the
he
planet.
literally started the clone, like
Right.
he literally started the production of the clones.
Yeah,
And he's related to like Darth Plagueis.
right. So there's a conversation on Kimono. Wait, or is it
Kamino.
Kashyyyk? Kamino, sorry, might be.
Kamino.
On Kamino.
Wait, between Jango Fett and Obi-Wan, right?
Jango Fett and Obi-Wan, that is one of the most important conversations in Star Wars lore, and it's grazed over in Episode 2. They just have this conversation, and as a first-time viewer, you pretty much have no idea what they're talking about. But after watching the Clone Wars and then rewatching Episode 2, that conversation is chef's kiss. Amazing lore. But without the Clone Wars, it doesn't work as well. Which is why
Right.
I have Episode 2 so far.
Sifo
low.
Dyas.
Sifo Dyas, there he is. Yep. Exactly. If you've never watched the Clone Wars and you hear us say that name, you probably think it's the first time you've heard it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's tough.
It is. It's really tough. But there's just so much like juicy stuff that you would never know. But I
Right.
think after watching Clone Wars with Clone Wars attached to Attack of the Clones, I think it stands as a good number 6.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
got great fight scenes. You have the Battle of Geonosis.
Mhm.
You have the factory scene,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is like not super great, but it's pretty good.
It's okay, yeah.
um,
In the
the
Lego video
opening-
games, oh man. What a great
The
level.
opening of this movie is so good.
Hold on, I'm trying to think of the opening.
I had forgotten the opening.
Um,
It's right after episode 1. Literally, it goes from episode 1 straight to episode 2.
right, but what happens?
Okay, so they land the silver Naboo cruiser
Yeah.
on Coruscant. It's like foggy out.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
right.
like
Duh.
you can
yeah.
see. And
Yeah.
then they finally, like, as the minute they step off the ship, boom!
Uh-huh.
Entire thing explodes.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell's going on? You know?
Yeah.
It was an assassination attempt.
Right.
And then
Guns start blazing
After that-
right away.
guns start blazing right away. And then you get the elevator scene between Obi-Wan and Anakin. They're
Mhm.
shooting the shit.
Yeah.
You're getting good character
Sure,
development.
absolutely.
And you see, and then there's the assassination attempt on Padme
Yep.
with freaking worms.
Oh,
Anakin comes in, saves the day.
What's you want some death sticks? What's the
You
line?
get that guy?
Yeah, uh-huh.
There you go.
You're right.
Hey, you want to buy some death sticks?
See, episode 2 is more full of a movie than episode 3 is. But episode 3 is better.
Oof.
I like episode 3
Oof.
better.
I have to rewatch episode 3.
Yeah, me too.
I did myself a disservice by not... I thought of it too before we started this. I was like, maybe we should rewatch episode 3 before this.
It is
But-
what it is. This is from my recollection what my list
It
would
is what
be.
it is. Right.
Yeah.
So, I think you just get a lot of good characters, even though you do have the whole Padme Anakin thing.
Yep.
I think when they come back together in the factory and everything on Geonosis,
Mhm.
I think that might be even all the more rewarding.
Sure. I see where you're coming from there. So that's episode 2 is number
Mhm.
6 for you.
That's episode 2, number 6.
All right. And what is your number 5?
Star Wars Rogue One.
Sweet. Okay, why is it
Yes.
your number 5?
So, it is my number 5 because I think as a movie it stands on its own more so than episodes 6 through 11.
Mhm.
Or not episodes 6 through 11,
Yeah.
numbers 6 through 11 on my list. I think the characters are interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think the overall plot development is good.
Yep.
Visually, it's stunning.
Yep.
This movie, however, does need a rewatch because of my tragic story of 2016. When I wanted
Enlighten
to watch
the
this
viewers
movie.
on the tragic experience of 2016, James Walmer.
The tragic experience of 2016 was also known as the James Stomach Flu of 2016,
Yes.
in which I had, just as this movie, like, I was in the theater, that night I started to develop a stomach flu. And as a result, for some reason, my bladder said, you know what, you're going to have to pee 8 times during this movie.
Sure.
8 separate times.
Yeah.
And so if this is the theater, right, and this is the entrance hall going in, and there's the whole seating screen
Mhm.
over here.
Yeah.
I sat on the front row of like the before the middle splitting section.
Yeah.
Front row, all the way on the right.
Okay.
So every time I got up, I had to walk all the way across the
Mhm.
entire effing theater
Yep.
just to go to the bathroom for like 2 minutes.
Right. That's awful.
It was terrible.
That sounds like hell for Vincent DeSantis, who hates missing any pieces of movies or pausing movies in the middle. That sounds like absolute hell.
I probably missed like a quarter of the movie.
Wait, have you seen it since then or no?
No.
Holy crap! Okay, you gotta watch it. It's great. It's good stuff.
Obviously, it's good enough to stand as number 5.
Even with
on
the
my
quarter
list.
of the movie missing.
Even with the quarter
Wow.
of the movie missing, I had
Okay.
a great time.
All right, fair enough. Good. The
And
memories
the
not so
Darth
much.
Vader scene at the end.
Hell yes. So good.
What were you saying while I cut you off?
No, I said the memories of the movie not so great, but the movie itself so great.
Very true.
Okay.
Very true.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So I think that's all I have for number 5 as of right now. Also,
Great.
people say that this entire movie rides on the security droid
On K2SO?
on K2SO.
Uh-huh. I don't
I don't think I
disagree.
agree with that, but K2SO is pretty damn great.
Yeah, he is great. And he's a pain in my butt in Fallen Order. And that's all. Okay. My number 5 is The Force Awakens.
Okay.
The Force Awakens. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, it was we were in a Star Wars drought, let's say, or there was years since Star Wars. I don't know if it was a drought, but years since Star Wars. We're back at the theaters, and it took me back to Star Wars. You gave us new characters I cared about. It gave me a villain who I absolutely loved, even though I know some people hated him, especially fans of the original
Mhm.
trilogy. Definitely did not like Kylo, but I love him. I think this has great scenes, great fight,
Mm-hmm.
a good twist. Twist, I'd say. You know, like when the lightsaber flies
Sure.
over and Rey grabs it. Epic. The theater's cheering. You know what I mean? It was like, I just
Sure.
have great memories around this movie. Even though, like, the more I watch it, the more just okay it is to me. Like,
Mhm.
it's a good movie, but I don't know if it's anything more than a good movie. But it's a great Star Wars. You've got good.
What keeps it from being number 4?
What keeps it from being number 4? My number 4. We'll get there. We'll get there. But I think it's.
Okay.
I think it has one of the greatest Star Wars fights, top 5 for sure, with Rey and Kylo in the forest.
Sure.
I think Han's death was very sad. I don't know if it was necessarily needed, but it makes sense in the whole trilogy aspect.
Yeah.
But overall, I just have good memories from watching it. It took me back to Star Wars, and that's really all I can ask for.
Mm-hmm.
In a good way. It wasn't like, oh, it took me back, and it was just an okay movie. It was good. It was a good time.
Right.
That's all I got to say for number 5.
It's great.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I go for number 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I did number 5.
My number 4 is Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
Return of the Jedi is epic. It's classic. There's the final scene with Vader, Palpatine, and Luke, and just
Gets his redemption arc.
every second of it is like so good to me. Sure, like, yes, these movies are dated, but I can't compare. I'm not comparing special effects here. I'm not comparing
Sure.
acting or things like that. This right here is strictly about story for me, and that's why it's so high. There's no fluff in this movie. Besides the Ewoks, there's no fluff in this movie. There's great action. You have characters doing what their characters do best. They're not forgetting about characters in this movie. If anything, they're elevating them, especially Vader, especially Luke. It's just I don't know. I watch it, and there's a feeling that you get watching this movie that you cannot get watching any other Star Wars movies. That's it.
It's great.
That's all I got on number 4.
My episode 4. No. Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
My number 4
Uh-huh.
is also episode 6, Return
Nice.
of the Jedi.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so the reason being that I think it lacks some of the consistency that some of the other top movies that I have do, in that I think in some aspects it's a very segmented movie.
Yeah.
And that you have like, oh, you have Endor, but then you also have Luke and Vader over here doing their thing, and you have a lot of these like segments to it, and that it doesn't feel like episode 6 in itself has a lot of continuity within the movie of episode 6. Within the trilogy it definitely does,
Okay.
but within episode 6 it's a little harder for me to see that, at least on what I can recall right now.
Right.
But I don't mind the Ewoks, but I do really like the Battle of Endor.
Me too.
I love the redemption of Vader with the funeral at the very end.
Yep.
Let's see. You have, is episode 6 when Leia breaks Han Solo out of carbonite, right? She puts the bounty hunter mask on and she goes.
No, that's Empire Strikes Back.
Is that still episode 5?
That's Empire, baby.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But you still get good Han and Leia.
Yep.
So is this when Leia goes to Han, he's my brother?
No.
Or is that in episode 5?
That's 5, yeah.
5 and 6 run together in my head.
Okay.
I apologize.
Well, they're kind of like, it's like a continuation. They're all like a continuation, I guess, this trilogy.
They're very tightly knit trilogy.
Right. Fun fact about Return of the Jedi, it was originally called Revenge of the Jedi.
Oh.
That's it. That's all. That was my fun fact.
Well, no, I'm just relating that to episode 3 that's called Revenge of the Sith, so I'm thinking, do they want to save that for Revenge of the Sith?
No, I think what it was is revenge was not something that a Jedi would do. That was their thought process there.
Oh. I see, which is why that would make Anakin / Darth Vader a Sith and not a Jedi.
Correctamundo.
Wow.
Return of the Jedi, great movie.
Great movie. I heard that Captain Rex was in this movie.
Right, and I want to watch it again just to see that. I really want to see that.
I do too. Because I think Captain Rex, next to, so if we're just real sidebar.
Yeah.
My Star Wars characters, oh my gosh. Thinking of this on the spot, probably goes like Ahsoka Tano.
Uh-huh. Wow, Ahsoka's your favorite Star Wars character.
She might be. She has one of the most
Holy hell. Okay.
Redemptive, like, not like character arcs in terms of conflict, but in terms of actual development, her maturity grows exponentially.
Right.
And I just like to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Second thought, it's got to be Obi-Wan as my number 1.
Sure, has to be.
Got to be Obi-Wan. And then I think it's Ahsoka.
Okay.
And then Rex.
Ahsoka and then Rex. So Rex is number 3, you're saying? on your
Rex is
all-time
number
favorite Star Wars characters.
I think so.
I love it.
And then it goes probably Anakin. And then I'm not even going to pick another Jedi for number 4. I'm going with 5s.
5s!
ARC Trooper 5s.
5s! Come over here, 5s! It's the best. So your Clone Wars characters
So
are ranking
good.
way higher than any of these mainstream characters, which is cool. I like it.
Big Clone Wars guy.
Yeah.
Anyone will tell you that.
Yeah. Okay, that was
Number
my...
3.
So you go for number 3, yeah.
Yep, because our number 4 was both Return of the Jedi. Not much else to say there.
Yep.
My number 3 is Star Wars The Force Awakens.
Okay.
For this reason. And that Star Wars The Force Awakens makes good promises.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
They make very good promises. Even though a lot of these promises are brought into fruition from its other episodes in the trilogy.
Yeah.
As it stands on its own, if I was to watch The Force Awakens without any knowledge of 8 or 9,
Uh-huh.
I'd love episode 7 even more. Because I think you get a lot of good dynamics going here. You have Rey, as there's so much in the other films that are completely convoluted regarding Rey's identity.
Not
right?
even just
'Cause you
convoluted,
have-
but baloney. Baloney.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely baloney. But I think in 7 you get the great villain,
Mm-hmm.
that's Kylo.
Yes.
You get a great character as Rey, which I don't know if she should have been the chosen Jedi. I really wanted to see Finn.
I like Rey being the chosen Jedi.
Okay.
I like that a lot.
Okay.
I think that was like...
Maybe I'm just a misogynist.
No, I wouldn't say that. I liked seeing Rey wield the lightsaber, but I think Rey was it, you know?
Sure.
It's about her.
You mean you liked Finn wield the lightsaber?
Yeah, I liked him wielding it for a
Light
little while.
scene.
I like to see
Okay.
it.
Okay.
But that's just
Yeah.
my pipe dreams of seeing everybody with a lightsaber in a return to the old eras, you know?
True. But I think this movie had a certain grittiness to it that the other ones didn't have.
Okay.
Um,
Grittiness
I
as
really
in... Explain that a little more.
the opening of the movie.
Okay.
That's what I think of when I think of the grittiness, where you see,
Right.
not supreme leader, but
Sexy
because
Kylo.
Snoke is still alive. But you see sexy Kylo come in, all stormtroopers kill this entire damn village,
Mhm.
before Poe Dameron has to make an escape with BB-8.
Yep.
Great sequence, great opening.
Totally agree.
One of the best opening. You know what? Star Wars is good at openings, except for Episode 9.
Yep, except for episode 9. That was a really shitty opening.
Yeah.
It
God,
does
that
have
was
some great
bad.
openings. I would say Rogue One is my
Um,
favorite Star Wars opening.
That's a good opening.
It's-
good ass opening.
It's like breathtaking, like just watching it.
Mm-hmm. Great cinematography.
Yep. And some incredible actors.
Let's see. Is there anything else I have to say about Force Awakens? I don't know. I just think I think it's Episode 4, but better.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what I got. All right.
Um,
Hit me with your number 3.
I'm trying to see what. Oh, I know exactly what the rest of your list is looking like. I know exactly what it is. Okay,
Yeah,
my
you do.
number 3 is a little bit of a hot take, but I'm prepared to take
know
the
exactly
heat.
what
It's
it
The
is.
Last Jedi is number 3.
Yeah.
I'm prepared for the heat.
All right.
Now, I'm gonna say a couple things, and then James, I want you to try to destroy me, okay, on The Last Jedi, because
I'm prepared to destroy you.
I think you will, and I'm ready to take it. The Last Jedi
Okay.
has its flaws, and when I say flaws, I mean some major core flaws. This movie has some problems, but that does not take away from having the best fight. The throne
Not
room
true.
fight, besides Obi-Wan and Anakin's fight, it's the second best
Not
fight.
true.
Okay,
Not true.
okay, we'll talk about that in a sec. The Last Jedi has Luke come back, and people hate how Luke is like Luke's kind of annoying in this movie, you know what I mean? But watch episode 4 again, god damn it. Luke is annoying as hell in episode 4. He regresses back to the character he was, and it's great. It's great character from Luke. And then at the end, sacrifices himself doing all this Force Jedi stuff, which is another thing that people don't like, and I understand it, but you have to add something new in some of these movies. He sacrifices himself, going back to how he was, like, if it was Return of the Jedi, same sort of character. You have Kylo and Rey. You care about them way more at the end of this movie than you did at the end of Force Awakens, because they build on the characters. But let me tell you the most important part about The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi is almost the perfect Star Wars film because it makes you feel... James, hear me out.
Huge claim.
Well, there is no perfect Star Wars movie. It's almost a perfect Star Wars movie. There's my claim. It makes anyone feel like they can be a Jedi. There is an idea in this movie that is core of Star Wars that anybody can be one of these people. And I think that inspirational sort of idea and space that this movie goes into is beyond any sort of theme that any of these movies have. It has this aura around it that you don't have to be you don't have to come from special lineage. You don't have to come from a special place or whatever to be a Jedi. It's just plain and simple, straight up. And that's my thesis on The Last Jedi. Okay, right, James, destroy me.
Let's recount your thesis. So you have Luke. What was the first one before Luke?
Throne room scene.
Throne room scene. You have Luke.
Uh-huh.
And you have anyone can be a Jedi.
Yes, I guess those are some major points. I'm sure there's more that I can bring up if you start destroying me. Yes.
Let's go back to the throne room.
The throne room. Yes.
Well, at surface level, if you don't pay attention, this might be a great fight. There's lots going on here.
Yep.
However, there are two main issues that I'm about to bring up from the Star Wars community.
Uh-huh.
First of all,
James, I want to hear your issues. I want to hear your issues, not the Star Wars community issues.
Me, as a delegate of the Star Wars community.
Sure. Okay. All right.
Say,
mm-hmm.
There are guards in this fight scene
mm-hmm.
who legitimately do nothing.
They just stand there in the background.
They are standing in the background until it's like their turn to fight, but that doesn't make sense because there's a lot of constant fighting going on with multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
You see some dude just throws his weapon away, like literally just. The choreography is just not good.
I disagree. I think the choreography is amazing.
I want you to go back. I will send you this video.
I've watched it a lot of times. Too many times.
I'll send you this video.
Okay.
Of literally, it's just this guy just slows down the fight and points out every single little thing wrong.
Okay. I believe you, but from watching it, I love it. I don't know what you could say that could make me not like this scene. Challenge.
Other than the fact that Rey really has no real training going into this fight.
Right. She has absolutely no training going into this fight at all. I can't think of a single training.
She is owning these dudes who literally their sole purpose is for protection. They've trained their entire lives.
Right. With the help of Kylo Ren.
But Rey's doing... It's not just Kylo Ren.
Here's the problem.
Kicking ass and taking
Here's the problem. I have to forget about so many other things with this movie and other Star Wars movies that this is such a little thing in comparison that I can forget about. There's this suspension of disbelief that I have with Rey.
Sure.
That I have to have. If I'm nitpicky about this scene, I have to be nitpicky about every scene in Star Wars ever. You know what I mean? And so I enjoyed it for what it was. Now going back, I'm not saying what you're saying is false. I'm just saying that I love this scene.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
The character of Rose is awful.
I totally agree. She's horrible. And I don't mean to be you're bullying Rose. No, just write a good character. I don't.
Just write a good character.
I'm sure she could have acted in it fine. She's probably great.
Sure.
But the writing did not help her in any means. She's terrible.
She's terrible.
Yeah.
You're
right.
Luke, I'm with you on the Luke thing. I like the way Luke acts.
Mm-hmm.
In this movie.
Yep.
I think it's very like realistic when Rey is more of a sentimental type of character.
Yeah.
I think it's a good foil for her.
James.
But I think
real quick, let's not forget the lore
Okay.
in this movie about Kylo Ren and Luke and the Knights of Ren we forget about the Knights of Ren after Rise of Skywalker because that was hot freaking garbage, but the lore with Luke training Kylo and all that stuff, it's so cool to me. It's so cool to learn about.
you get a little bit, which you don't get enough of.
Sure.
In my
Yeah,
opinion.
you don't. They
don't
they
get
make
enough.
you want more. Because you
They
think
make
it's
you
gonna
want
be
more.
you think it's gonna be all solved. You think you're gonna know it all in Rise of Skywalker, but sure enough, you don't get shit in Rise
Mhm.
of Skywalker.
You don't get shit. You get Leia literally resurrect.
Yes. Leia has the Force. Leia's Force sensitive. I don't have anything to say.
I don't have a problem with her being force sensitive. I
Uh-huh.
have a problem with her floating back
Right.
to the ship after being suspended in space.
Right. Okay. It rubbed me the wrong way the first time, but after watching it more times, it doesn't rub me anymore.
I just don't know if it ever won't.
That's
rub me the
fair.
wrong way.
I mean, I see where you're coming from. I see why people do not like this movie at all, and it makes sense to me. I get it. But I think of the sequel trilogy, this will be the one I rewatch the most times. Right now it's Force Awakens, but I think this will be the movie of the sequel trilogy that I will remember for longer than any of the others.
Dang, I just feel like that's a damn shame compared to Force Awakens.
I know. I think I don't agree with the criticism that Force Awakens is copying A New Hope, but there definitely is some plot points like Starkiller Base that is very similar, which is fine. But I really something about The Last Jedi draws me in so much. I love it. I really love it. Now, one thing I also do not like about Last Jedi is that everybody's split up the whole time, and I don't like Star Wars movies that split their main characters up the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But they come together.
And then,
end. Yeah.
The third point of your thesis, I only have problems with
Yeah.
because of Star Wars Episode 9.
Right, and I agree.
And that
Yeah.
that entire point goes to naught because it actually did matter who Rey was.
Exactly, and that sucked. That's one of the reasons why Rise of Skywalker is so low. That's actually probably one of the main reasons.
Me too.
She didn't have to be a Palpatine, bro. It made it so much cheaper. It made everything so much
It did.
cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
It felt gimmicky.
It did.
Like, that felt like an idea that someone threw out in the writer's room, and you're like, oh, that's cool to think about. And they're like, oh, let's just go with it. Instead of really thinking through what that meant for the characters that they've been building over the last, 8 years or 6 years or whatever the hell.
Sure.
It's sad. It's a damn shame. But
it is a damn shame.
There's a couple things. Okay, actually, I'm not prepared to back up this claim. There's a claim that Rise of Skywalker makes Last Jedi better, but I disagree with that claim from everything I've heard. I think Rise of Skywalker could have made The Last Jedi a greater movie,
Yes.
but instead it
I
makes
agree.
it an even worse movie.
I agree.
But if I'm evaluating these movies separately, I think Last Jedi is my favorite of the sequel trilogy.
Wow.
That's it. I rest my case.
I just can't do that.
I know, it's fair, and a lot of people
I just
can't.
do that.
No one agrees with me. There's a couple people that agree with me. A select few.
I just can't. The only way I can see that it's beneficial to the trilogy is, first of all, that main point about it doesn't matter who you are to be a Jedi.
That's the biggest one for me, yeah.
That's the biggest one. And then also, if this was more respected, then we would have had Colin Trevorrow Episode 9.
Yep. I really wish we were having a different conversation right now about this with Colin Trevorrow's Episode 9. I really wish we were.
Me too. Me too.
I wanted to see Hux Senpuku or whatever. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna read the script this weekend.
I think you should.
Have you read it?
I've only read like 8 or so pages that I saw online, which I loved. I loved it.
Was it really good?
So good. Rey sneaks into Coruscant, bro. The final battle is overlooking Coruscant, like at the top of the old council building, bro. It's so sick.
Wow.
It's so cool.
Wow.
I can dream. Okay.
A boy could dream.
Okay, I go to my number 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. My number 2 is A New Hope. Now, I agree with you, James, that the pacing does not hold up to today's standards. But I can't hold it against it because without this movie, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. It's just the base. It's the basis of all Star Wars. There's a reason that every one of these movies calls back to this movie. It's what made fans. It's the first Star Wars movie that I watched. It's just the most. Sure, I might enjoy watching other movies more than this, but I can't put this any lower on the list, in my opinion.
So let's take Star Wars A New Hope out of the context of the saga.
Okay. Yeah, it's the first.
How does it stand on its own?
As a movie?
As a movie.
I'd have to watch it again. It's been too long.
Okay.
But when I think of it as the beginning to like the saga, right?
Sure.
I don't know. I don't have that much that'll defend this, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. That's all. That's all I have to say for A New Hope. What's your number 2?
Well, I disagree and think that Star Wars A New Hope is too dated to be anywhere in the top 5.
Okay.
My number 2 has to be...
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Before you say this, you're saying it's too dated to be in the top 5. Okay. Maybe it doesn't...
Too dated...
I can't... Again, I can't rate any of these on how well they hold up. Because, like, Episode 3, for instance, has really shitty CGI. But I don't know if that holds up, but this...
I'm not talking visually.
Okay.
I'm talking narratively.
Oh, I would say, narratively, A New Hope is pretty solid.
Maybe I don't mean narratively, and then the way they execute the narrative. Does that make sense?
But, okay, like, I understand
because pacing isn't a narrative problem.
Right. I would say, I would agree with you, but a lot of these movies follow the same structure that movie made. So it's just that we're watching these in 2020 where everything is like so fast to us, right? And like a movie has to be so quick to keep our attention, or our average attention spans have gone way down. So what you're saying makes total sense. Like I totally see where you're coming from and everything, but I just, like, me personally, I can't discount the fact that like when this came out in the 70s, like, and stuff like that, it was the movie. And like,
and I respect that for what it is.
Right. And it was just the beginning. That's another thing. It was just without it, nothing else would be a thing.
I just think people rate the cultural significance of this movie when they should be rating the quality of the film itself.
Okay. Yeah. I get that.
My number 2.
Yeah.
Is Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm. That's hot, literally.
You get it all. You get the Obi-Wan Anakin quips, the relationship that you literally have been waiting this entire trilogy to kind of see come to fruition.
Yep.
You see the overturning of Anakin. Why did Siri stop? You see you see the overturn of Anakin to the dark side by Chancellor Palpatine. You see Mace Windu trying to put down the hammer. You see Yoda doing a lot of stuff that's very important. You see Yoda.
Like what?
And
I'm just kidding.
like fighting Palpatine.
I know, I'm joking.
It's very important.
He was crawling through the little thing, you know what I mean?
It was great.
Yep.
It's phenomenal. What do you got? I will admit, General Grievous's character is not done justice.
Right.
Done justice.
Still a good character. Though. He's not terrible.
Still a good character. He's not awful, but he's just kind of like pussified.
Now, I will. It's a known fact that James's favorite era is the prequel era of Star Wars.
Right. So I am biased.
But that bias is fine. You know what I mean? It makes sense that I love the lore in the prequel series too, and it's really solid. That part of the prequel era is so good. It's beyond what the sequels ever did.
I agree.
Yeah. I was going somewhere with this point, but it's out. I don't know where.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'll keep going.
Okay.
The final fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan, the choreography in that fight is only rivaled in the final fight in Episode 1.
My webcam effed. Sorry, everybody. Keep going.
Oh, no. The final fight is only rivaled by Star Wars Episode 1's Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon versus Darth Maul fight.
Sure.
The choreography is phenomenal. The emotional tension in that sequence is so high. The stakes are incredibly high.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen.
Right.
But you still feel exactly what's going on. We're still talking about the reason why it mattered that Obi-Wan had the high ground over Anakin.
To this day, James.
To this day.
I agree. I totally agree with that.
I think it has the close to Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope. It has the biggest cultural significance in Star Wars.
Yeah, I agree. Also, my webcam's about to come back. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for this distraction, James, because you're bringing up some great points here.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, you get the downfall of a hero, and it's sad to see every time. I'm not a crier. I almost physically cannot cry during movies. But something about the turn of Anakin just really gets me every time. Not to the point of tears, but like
almost.
I am disheartened every time.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Somehow, Episode 3 was able to wrap up the prequel trilogy and bring us into what we already knew was 4, 5, and 6. And it accomplished what it set out to do. Whereas I don't think the sequel trilogy accomplished what they set out to do.
Right.
And it's important.
Do you think
really
Force
strong.
Awakens did what it set out to do?
Yeah, but
okay.
I mean, that's like, I don't know, Episode 1 maybe set out for what they were planning on, but they sure didn't end the sequel trilogy, you know?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, all your points are solid. I agree that Episode 3 is huge. But also, I have to call you out on this, James. I have to call you out on this. You rated Episode 3 high because of its cultural significance, yet I could not rate A New Hope high because of its cultural significance.
I don't think but it's not just because the cultural significance.
Sure, I know. I'm just trying to give you a hard time.
Okay. No, you're good, and I like that.
But one thing that we can both agree on, James, because as we're going through these lists, I'm making mental notes about some movies that we haven't discussed yet. And so I will let you do the honor of revealing the number one. Our number one pick.
The undisputed number one pick.
The champion.
As the best Star Wars movie ever made.
Yes.
And that is Star Wars Episode 5.
The Empire Strikes Back. Let's go, baby. What's not to love? What is not to love about this movie? Woo! James, we got Lando. We have... Han and Leia having the cutest relationship ever.
Yeah, it's the best.
We have Carbonite. We have Cloud City. We have I Am Your
We
Father.
have the bounty hunters. We got Boba Fett. We got IG-88. We got Bosk.
Luke gets his arm cut off. It's the complete package.
Look, you get the Wampa scene where
oh my god, Hoth. Everything on Hoth, man.
everything on Hoth is great.
Empire Strikes Back is not only a great Star Wars movie, but it is a great movie, and I cannot say that about all these movies, but I sure
That
as
is
hell
true.
can say it
Very
for Episode
true.
5. It's just
Wow.
I love everything about it. I can't think of anything I don't like about this movie.
You get Lando.
Yep,
Get Lando.
absolutely. I'm trying to recount all of the events to bring up major events. It has
Me too,
also been
me
a
too.
little bit since I've seen it. But not only do I remember it being the best, it just is. There's nothing.
It just
is the best.
Mhm. You have the whole negotiation between Lando and Vader in Cloud City,
That's right.
where
The dinner
ultimate
table.
cost at the dinner table. Mhm.
How epic's that? Who would have thought there would
One
have
of the
been
best dinner table scenes in
Ever.
cinema.
the dinner table cinematic history list? Empire Strikes
Close
Back.
to Spider-Man 1.
Oh, at the table with Uncle Ben and Aunt May. I don't even.
No. With Harry and Willem Dafoe.
Oh, for Thanksgiving, of course,
yes,
of course.
for Thanksgiving.
And he's bleeding.
Yep.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, we're definitely the next one is Spider-Man in review. We have to rank our Spider-Man movies.
Wow.
All right, that sounds good. That'll be coming at you soon.
That's it.
But Star Wars. Okay, closing thoughts on Empire Strikes Back and the Star Wars universe.
Okay.
Go for it. You're up.
Wow,
to
put
think.
me on the
I'm
spot.
trying to think. Yeah.
Star Wars, a series that has impacted multiple generations.
Yes.
So much culture has spawned millions of fans, creating billions of dollars. Very influential to not only the sci-fi world and the sci-fi industry, but also the film industry.
Yep. Yeah.
It just I was just gonna say it just keeps getting better, but it really does not.
It really does not. But
It really does
it
not.
has the potential to keep getting better.
All right, here's a proposition, Ben.
Hit me.
What if we do Clone Wars seasons in review?
God. Oh boy. We could talk about that.
We'll talk about that.
I don't
but
know.
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
There's just good arcs. There's not even good seasons.
What if we just rate arcs?
That's doable.
Okay.
That's doable.
Okay.
Star Wars is the best, man. I'm always excited for more Star Wars.
I love Star Wars.
I mean,
Star Wars.
good or bad. Good
Here's
or
what
bad. I'm
sets
in.
Star Wars apart from a lot of other franchises.
Yeah.
Star Wars could be awful, and I would still go out and watch the next Star Wars movie or
Yeah.
buy the next Star Wars game or
Yeah.
whatever. I would consume Star Wars even if it was the lowest of lows.
Yeah.
I can't say that for a lot of franchises.
Right. No, I agree. I'd say the same. But also, in a way, by doing this, we're feeding the pop culture. Star Wars is so cool and everything. But the
You're
difference
right.
the difference is here. People say they like Star Wars or whatever, and like watch it or whatever, or not even watch it. They can just say they like it. But the difference is like,
Sure.
no, I'm not gonna try to set myself apart from other Star Wars fans. It's effing Star Wars. Everybody likes Star Wars. I'm not better than anybody. I'm not worse than anybody. It's fucking Star Wars, baby.
Yeah, it is.
That's all.
Come on,
that's all.
baby.
That's all.
It's great.
So on the Star Wars horizon, we have Mandalorian season 2 coming at the end of the year. I don't know. Clone Wars is about to end. Everything's
Clone
gonna be
Wars
on
about to
Disney Plus today when this video goes live.
Wow. What did they add?
The whole Skywalker saga will be on there now. So Rise of Skywalker comes on May 4th.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. That's it. That's all I got.
Wow.
What a fun episode.
That's all I got.
Clocking
great
in at an
episode.
hour and 28 minutes so far. We really grinded. Do you feel like there's anything that you didn't say that you want to say?
No, I don't think so. I think I got it. I laid it all my cards on the table.
I'm scared that I'm gonna go back and rewatch this and hear myself talk about these movies and just have absolutely no claim towards any of these.
Oh, here's a question.
Yeah.
Have any of your movies moved?
When we're talking about it? It's
just
very difficult for me because I want to put Rise of Skywalker lower, but I can't justify putting episode 2 higher. And I also I want episode 3 to be higher because it is higher. But I just think Rogue One and like Force Awakens are such solid movies through and through, and I don't think episode 3 is solid through and through. I just think it has moments.
But is episode 7 or episode 8 good through and through?
It's hard, James. It's tough. My mind tells me yes, and my body tells me no. Just kidding. They both tell me yes. It's an internal dispute, and this list will 100% change.
Yeah.
I don't feel any major changes right now. But this is subject to change 100% looking at my list.
I think mine is staying.
Good. I'm glad.
I might switch 8 and 4. Flip-flop them.
Number 8 and number 4 or like episodes?
Episode 8, episode 4.
Okay.
Move my 7th to 8th and my 8th to 7th.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Great stuff.
Thank you everybody for joining us on this special Star Wars episode of May the 4th of Strictly Casual. Now, if you are here and you haven't seen any of our other videos, we have a gaming podcast that we do every Friday. It goes live where we wrap up the news, just random facts about what the fun stuff that's happened in the week. We do community questions that are starting up. It's just a great time. So if any of that interests you, please hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, hit us up on the socials.
Join our Discord.
Join the Discord. We're just trying to have a good time out here, you know?
Yeah, we are.
And James, can I get one major F that the camera did not overheat? Simply the battery ran out. And it's completely
Major
my fault.
F.
Something I should have checked. But
It's
it is
okay.
what it is. It is what it is.
Happens to the best of us.
Yes, it does. All right. Peace out, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.
Peace out.